And we're back. City ambassadors, the real city ambassadors are back. Oi, today I have a special guest. I have a band. I have a group that I've been following for over 2 years now. They're hailing from San Jose, California, the 408. They have a loyal fan base and a buzz that can be easily carry them beyond their locality and into a national spotlight. With a strong sound reminiscent of the early U2, The Strokes, The Cure, The Killers, and Brit-Pop of the 90s, while also, putting together swagger of artists like Joy Division and The Doors. They maintain a pop-friendly, how does Billy describe him? Dance rock sound, which invites music lovers of all genres into the fold. And who is Billy? Who is Frank? Who is Gabe? They are The Strokes, everybody. Just kidding. The Trim. Hey, how's it going,
the Strokes?
I know, right? I just said them and they're like top of mind. But I love y'all, honestly. Thank you so much for being
here,
taking the time.
Thanks for having us.
You all have really, in my mind, made a mark in San Jose, but you all are quickly expanding and growing. So just quickly do an intro. Who's everybody? Who is the Trims?
I'll go first.
Jesus. This is what I was worried about. We're going to start talking over each other.
That's great. Don't even worry about it.
All right, go ahead, Billy. You go. Go ahead.
My name's Billy, and I'm the drummer for the Trims.
Hello, everyone. My name is Frank, and I play bass for the Trims.
Nice.
And, hey, guys. My name is Gabriel, Gabe, and I play lead and rhythm and sing for the Trims. And missing is our other guitarist, Jerry Lozano.
Right. Shout out to Jerry. We'll bring him on another occasion. But tell us about the Trims. Tell us about kind of the genesis.
The Trims started a while ago. Actually, it was just me and the very first MacBook I ever bought. So that was the band. The original band was me and my laptop, and I just started. I had just gotten I was in the SF music scene for a little while, and I had just gotten kicked out of a band because I don't know. I guess I wasn't cool enough. I didn't have that cool scenester thing going on. So I said, I'm just gonna start my own band. Screw it. And so I went out and bought myself a MacBook because I heard so much about this garage band thing that everyone was talking about. Mm-hmm. And I just started writing demos. I just started writing songs. I put together about 5 or 6 songs that I thought were pretty good. And I just started reaching out to friends like Billy that I knew were also in the music scene, a drummer. And then reaching out to more people, and Frank, and who's also in the music scene, and just put a band together.
Yeah, but I from previous conversations I've seen, you, Billy, and Gabe knew each other prior to all this, right?
Yeah, we were friends for a long time.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've been buddies for a long time, and even before music stuff. Music actually was the thing that kind of bonded us. I remember the very first time Billy and I ever really hung out. He noticed that I had some vinyl Santana records, and I had my little Fender Stratocaster. And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "You play guitar?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I play guitar too. You like Santana?" "Yeah, I like Santana too." And that was it.
So what kind of music did all three, and I'll ask everyone, like, what kind of music did you all grow up listening to? And then we'll talk about how that's influenced.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, yeah. I have older cousins that when I was younger, they were into 80s, like modern rock. And they got me into that stuff, and I was digging it. And then my dad was a drummer, so I kind of wanted to follow kind of my dad's footsteps.
Cool.
My mother remarried when I was younger. My stepdad, he would listen to like Led Zeppelin, Boston, Rush. So I kind of had all kinds of different influences. And then I got into like the 80s hair bands. And, like Guns N' Roses was my go-to. So that all that influence kind of like pushed me towards the musician I am today. So I kind of use stuff that I listened to when I was a kid to help me today with my music.
So you had a drum set at home since birth, basically.
When I was little, my dad had a drum set, and as I got older, I mean, I would just bang on everything. So I couldn't really have a drum set at home because my family would just, I'd probably be homeless right now. Who knows? I used to get in trouble for banging on the table, on everything, on the wall, and so I didn't really. I had practice pads, but no full-on drum set. It wasn't allowed.
I hear you, Frank. What about you?
You know what? Growing up, I'm kind of everywhere too. I love anything with a good beat and good rhythm, but I grew up on disco, funk, reggae.
A lot of good bass there.
I didn't really grow up like a traditional, Mexican on the East Side. We were listening to Prince and Madonna and Bob Marley, and I think that really shaped my musical influence because in all those genres of music, the bass is kind of the lead. In those genres, the bass is the melody as opposed to the rhythm, and I think subconsciously that really took to me growing up as I started aspiring to music that I wanted to play bass. And for me, it's kind of full circle because the Trims music is a very bass-driven, bass-led sound, and so it comes naturally to me, and it's right in my wheelhouse, so to speak, in terms of my playing.
Nice. What about you, Gabe?
I grew up. Well, the whole reason why I started my love affair with the guitar was because of Elvis Presley, and ever since I can remember, I mean, even before I remember, my siblings and my parents tell me that I was like, running around in my diapers like singing, "Put your head on my shoulder," having the broomstick and making it a guitar, stuff like that. So I don't know. It was always there for me. So it was like Elvis. I like Little Richard. I like the 50s, the doo-wop sound a lot too. And then when I first started playing guitar, I got really into the old boleros, the trios from Mexico, like Los Panchos and stuff like that. And then I don't know, it kind of just exploded into a whole bunch of different stuff. I got into corridos. And then, and then modern rock, and then metal, and then that was another thing that kind of bonded Billy and I was our love for Guns N' Roses. He was the only dude that I knew. The only other Chicano I knew that was like hardcore Guns N' Roses fan.
Word. And, I want to talk about that, but before that, I did a little research. So El Maestro Valentin.
Yeah.
Tell us about him. And I want to hear from you all. Like, did you have that maestro or that person that kind of, paved the way for some of that musical talent that you have?
I had music teachers in school. I did it in like junior high school. For me, it wasn't so much of the sometimes I would just load the teacher. Like, he doesn't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. So I would just follow my idol drummer. Or I'd find this song that I liked where the drums were just phenomenal.
Who were your idol drummers?
Oh man, I've got tons of them. It's like certain songs, certain genres. I mean, I'm a big Rush fan. I like the Professor, Kurt. Yeah, Animal from the Muppets was like the first drummer that I was exposed to. So it's just a whole bunch of different drummers. I kind of find stuff that I like that other drummers do, and I kind of use it on my own, but kind of tweak it to, kind of make it
right here.
Make it mine. Yeah. That's the man right there.
That's the man. Okay, thanks, man. I don't know the names of the actual.
He's got this giant drum set. I don't even know how he gets in there. It's he's got to be lowered in or something.
Holy shit! He looks like an octopus.
He's phenomenal. Just recently passed too, so he will be missed definitely.
What about you, Frank?
Let's see here. I didn't start playing, at least what I'm going to call playing, at 19. Until I was 19. I had a buddy that played guitar, and he was a roommate of mine. And we would smoke a lot of weed, drink a lot of beer, listen to music, and he's just like, "Hey, you should get a bass or something." And so I was like, "Yeah, I should." And so I found the cheapest one I could get on Amazon. I still have it. It was like a $90. I think it's called a Titan. And I've never seen anything like it before. It's like the thickest neck you've ever seen. The strings were like 3 inches from the fretboard. Oh man, it was crap. And so Yeah, we kind of started jamming. So my musical knowledge comes really from learning other songs, and just the more songs I learned, and as I started doing bands, I started, as most musicians do. I don't want to say stealing things, but I was influenced greatly by a lot of my favorite bass players, and I remember. I was a real big fan of the 2000s New York garage rock scene, with like Interpol, The Strokes, Yeah Yeah Yeahs,
of course.
And Carlos Dangler was the original bassist for Interpol, and some of the things he was doing on the first two albums really kind of blew my mind and inspired me to gravitate toward, I'm gonna start playing bass and learning those bass lines. I also love Dan Adriano from Alkaline Trio, Joe Principe from Rise Against. These guys are just, during songs, they're just everywhere on the fretboard. So they do, they're both the rhythm, they're both the melody, and a lot of my influence comes from those three bass players.
And is there a song in particular that you're like, man, I want to hit those bass notes at one point?
When I first started playing, the one song I always wanted to learn and I thought was going to be impossible for me because I thought it was just super hard, but now I can play it, and it's one of my favorite bass lines is Boogie Oogie Oogie by Taste of Honey. It's a 70s disco line, a lot of octave.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a classic, and man, that's just kind of like, that's like the ultimate bass line for me. And it's simple, it's effective, it's fun, and it's catchy, and it makes me want to dance every time I hear it.
What's complex about the, as you try to refine that bass part, like what was complicated about it, and what did you want to achieve with it?
The first song I ever learned was Reptilia by The Strokes, and like the verse is just two notes. It's just two notes, and I was like, oh, playing bass is easy. And then as I started wanting to learn some of the songs that I really liked, like the octave patterns and just like the timing, the syncopation, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be, I'm never gonna learn this. And
and you carry, you have a lot on your shoulder. That bass has to be solid, right? And it's got to just kind of hold down the whole band.
Yeah, absolutely. As a drummer, sometimes most people don't understand. I keep the time and I keep the beat, but I'm really following the bass player. The bass player changes and I'm right there next to him. And Frank and I, man, we locked up really well.
Yeah, every time he says, I goes, you're following me, I was following you.
You got to follow each other. I just want to show real quick, folks out there, because you have folks that only listen to hip hop, maybe just some Spanish music, but I want everyone to kind of be exposed to everything. And Gabe, like, what were you exposed to, and what was that? You're like, I want to hit that note.
For me, it was as a senior frontman, it was Steve Perry of Journey. So I always liked the way that he hit those really high.
That's a tough one.
But he never broke into falsetto. He kept it his regular voice, and I was like, how does this guy do it? And so that's what I aimed for on the high end, and then on the low baritone end, I always liked the sound of Jim Morrison from the Doors.
Of course.
And the Doors being my favorite band of all time, hands down across the board. So it was like the way I tried to model my singing style was a mix between Morrison and Perry.
Of course. Wow. Interesting.
And like Frank, I never fronted a band before this one, and so like Frank, I was like, well, how am I going to do this whole singing thing, so I started trying to get the sound of other, like those two singers and be like, hey, like if I can kind of mimic that sound, eventually I'll find my own sound within those two lanes, So by listening to other people singing, I kind of figured out, okay, this is where I feel comfortable. This is where I feel confident.
Yeah. I want to jump straight into the Trims, the logo. It's had some modifications, right? I saw from your website, and I remember seeing it prior. It had a different flair to the words. And what made it? Is this is now the official Trims logo? Right?
That kind of. It's that's we've actually modified it one more time after this to make it a little bit more streamlined, like a little bit. It's a little bit. There's some uneven parts in this logo design, and we had a professional graphic artist like fix all that and make it like super cool. Which unfortunately, I'm looking around. I don't think I have anything.
What about the background?
It's very yeah. That's the same old one. That's this exact one, but the really solid one that we have was done by a good friend of ours who has his own shop in San Francisco called the Eye and Hand Society. And then there's a different version we have that's more like handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I saw that. Yeah.
The T kind of looks like a J, and a lot of people.
Yeah, that was our early one.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a great logo, and that was done for us by a buddy of ours named Glenn Cardenas. Oh, there you go. The one on
this one.
Yeah. And then the one on the Julian Street album,
is the polished one.
That's the current one. As you can see there, it looks a lot cleaner, a lot sharper.
Yeah, when Eric pointed out the flaws we had had no idea. And our professional looks at it and was like, check this out, and we're like, man, we gotta get this cleaned up.
This line is crooked, this line is like this, and then when he made it look like that, we're like, wow. And again, shout out to Eric Lindsay of the Eye and Hand.
Yes, sir. Good job.
Out. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. The name, how did it come about, and then the logo too. I mean, yes, you've had some modifications, but for the most part, there's consistency there. So let's talk about the name.
The trims was something that I had thought of like again when it was just me and my laptop. Mm-hmm. At that time, there were a lot of bands that were. It was mostly the way I viewed it was that even the bands that I was in were trying to impress other bands instead of trying to capture the audience member, right? And what I mean by that is like a bunch of gearheads. No offense to any of the gearheads out there, but like
what does that mean? I don't know. I'm not.
A gearhead is like someone who's more like a musician that like wants to have like the dopest gear, like pedals and amps, and like their setup is gigantic, right? They have like 50 pedals, all of these different trinkets and stuff all around. And then the music kind of reflected that, right? It was like 6-7 minute songs, guitar solos that were just off the charts. Mm-hmm. No real hooks. And I'm a big fan of the Beatles also, so I like really hooky music. Mm-hmm, and so when I was like, I'm going to start this little project, I'm going to trim out all of that stuff. I'm going to just cut all of that stuff out and just get, the KISS acronym, right? Keep it simple, stupid.
Right. Pendejos.
Yeah. And so that's where the name came from. I kept saying like, I'm going to trim this out. I'm going to trim that out. And I thought, oh man, what about the trims? That would be a pretty cool name. Again, going back to the bands of the 60s, like the Zombies, the Doors, the Beatles. I always wanted to be in a band that had a "the" in front of the band name.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect. The trims. Let's go with that. And it stuck.
Nice. And the logo, how did that come to be, or why did you imagine?
Again,
I think we were looking for like an old classic nameplate, like a car nameplate. Yeah. I think at one time. Yeah. And this kind of evolved into that, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, if I had a nameplate, I'd slap it on my car.
Yeah, like our the other logo that had like kind of like the handwriting look, we loved it very much. Mm-hmm. But people kept calling us the Drims because because they kept thinking it was a J, and a lot of people don't really pay attention to like handwriting, I guess, anymore.
Yeah, I know. I still learn how to write it. Okay.
And so then when we decided we needed to kind of make the T look more like a T, that's when our other buddy like kind of gave us a whole bunch of things to choose from. And we found the one that looked like like Billy said, like a classic car emblem, and we went with that.
Nice. And Frank, I know you're newer to the band because I know Billy and Gabe, you all have been at it. How did you hear of the Trims?
Oh, I mean, as a San Jose musician, who doesn't know the Trims? I think I first crossed paths with Gabe and Billy, circa 2010 or 2011.
Something like that.
Yeah. I went on Craigslist and I found this band looking for a bass player. We eventually became a band called Them Rude Boys. We're like a ska punk reggae outfit. And man, I think our first show, we played a couple shows with the Trims. We played BFD together out at Shoreline. And I was a huge fanboy of the Trims. And I've told Billy and Gabe this. I mean, growing up in San Jose and as a musician, you know, I've been in 2 different bands and talking to a lot of bands in San Jose. The Trims are kind of, you know, setting, you know, a lot of milestones of what San Jose bands could be. So I personally, among some other peers, aspire to be like them in terms of their presentation, their brand, their music, how they carry themselves. You know, they're kind of like the pinnacle of what you want to achieve and to be. And I think I told Gabe this. I was always trying to figure out how to weasel my way into the band. I was always keeping track, like, you know, who's playing bass now. You know,
it's called the wind of opportunity, man.
Yeah, so, it was crazy. And you know, a couple years ago, I started a new project, and the timing was just perfect. As that project was kind of fizzling out. An opportunity to play bass, the Trim staff. We actually played a show together at the Ritz last year to a lot of fandom and success. And I remember Gabe texted me one night. I think it was like at 2 a.m. He's like, "Hey, you up?" And I was like, "What is this text message?"
And all excited.
Yeah,
I need a ride.
Heck yeah, I want to be in the band. And it was funny. I tell Gabe this story, and he goes, "Dude, if you wanted to be in the band, you should just ask." And I was like, "Oh my god, it goes 10 years. I can't get back."
Hey, I want to pull up this photo. So I was talking to Billy before we went live, and he answered my question, but I don't know if you all listen to Nartward. He does all these interviews, and he tries to like bring up some like cool little fun facts, but whatever. Billy, you answered my question. So San Jose High, that is connected to your most recent album. How?
Well, San Jose High is on Julian Street, and Gabriel actually grew up on Julian Street, which is a few blocks from San Jose High. And I used to walk to school, so I'd walk to school every day, pass by Gabe's house, we'd hang out at school, and then we'd walk home together. And that's kind of like where Gabriel and I met, was at San Jose High on Julian Street.
Nice. And Frank, did you go to San Jose High?
No, I went to Silver Creek High School.
That's also in San Jose?
Oh yeah, on the east side.
Nice. That one right there. Cool.
Frank's school.
So going back to this, I just put market. You know, I looked up Julian Street, and I only see if I go down Julian, I only see like about 2 or 3 streets that have the light bulb. Like, is there something particular about like the cross streets there? Because I think it's like 2nd Street or 1st, or is it about related to downtown San Jose?
The title? Or
no, yeah, well, Julian Street, and also it's this light pole.
That well, I mean, the light pole, we just thought it looked cool. We saw it. So down on Julian Street, I guess like now they just built like all those new apartments down there. It's like right next to the San Pedro Street Market where all that construction was. They just built a whole bunch of new living units. But that wasn't there yet at the time. It was just like all gated off and flat dirt. But they had
it was an empty lot with a street sign.
Yeah, and they had those lampposts. I don't know, like they're supposed to be like, you know, like they're like really cool looking lampposts, and so we're like, oh man, that would be perfect. Because I was over here on I don't know if you know, you're familiar with the area on Julian Street, like 25th and Julian, where like the Bonfair Market is, like these like crummy ass signs are like all in, and like, you know. But I kind of was like, man, I want it to be authentic, you know, like this is gonna look really cool. It's like this is like Julian Street that I know growing up. But then we saw that and I'm like, no, that's way better. It looks like a lot nicer. So like that's just we took a photograph of the streets of the light post with the street sign on it, and then I took photographs of each instrument individually, and then we sent it over. I sent all that stuff over to our graphic designer, Eric Lindsay of the Eye and Hand Society, and then he made it all. He put it all together and made it look like that.
Yeah, it's clean. It's fresh. Let's talk about some performances, some venues. Tell me about Bottle Rock. Talk to me about your experience performing there and what it meant for you all as a band, as a brand, as a group.
Phew, that was awesome. I mean, we felt like we're accomplished musicians there. I mean, we show up, we've got people carrying our gear, golf carts taking things everywhere. I mean, it was awesome. We had a really good time. I mean, hands down, it was like probably one of the best shows for me. I mean, it was from the time we got there to the time we left, it was just fun the whole time.
Maybe even before this, I have a question. At what point did you all feel like, okay, this is going places? Like, we feel that the Trim is finally growing outside of our immediate circle. Was it like MTV, The Real World, or was it something prior to that? And we can probably even talk about that, how you all ended up in The Real World, SF.
For me, I just have this really weird way of viewing the self-perception of where if it's happening to me, then it's really not a big deal, right? So like I've always felt like every show that we've ever played, I get in these really weird moods, like because I feel like no one's gonna show up. I would have this this terrified feeling that nobody's gonna come, right? And so even like when we were at Bottle Rock, it just like I still had that weird feeling like, oh man, like they're gonna hate us. Like it's really self-deprecating.
Getting emo, bro.
Yeah, and it's kind of sucky, man, because like I wish I would have enjoyed that Bottle Rock experience more than I did, because I was always kind of just like not paranoid, but just kind of I always just feel kind of out of place, and I felt out of place there. Like the only thing I could say that was really pretty badass was when we were in the artist section, where the food spread is, and like Robert Plant is sitting like 3 tables away from me, and that was a moment where I was like, maybe maybe this is kind of special. Like I'm seeing anyway, I look to my left and like Young the Giant and Portugal the Man are having lunch right there, and I'm like, I'm sitting backstage with these people. Scott Weiland was like 3 trailers away from us. It's like, all right, well, something special is happening here. So for me, that was kind of like where I kind of lost a little bit of that feeling of like, it's just us. Like no one gives a shit. Who cares, right? This is dumb. At that moment, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is kind of something special.
You feel like that was a turning point for you? So then 2015?
Yeah, that it was kind of a turning point for me. Yeah, I would say that. And then after that moment was when I kind of was started being a little kinder to myself in that sense, right? Like saying, okay, like enjoy yourself. You don't have to, you don't have to work so hard to make it perfect. Enjoy yourself a little bit. So I think it was after that moment.
Got it. What about you, Billy?
I don't know. I kind of feel like everything we've done the first time of everything is kind of a notch under our belt. Like getting together and playing our first show. Like, oh, we were all nervous. It was horrible. Everything that went wrong at the worst time. It was awful, but it was over with. And we're like, man, that was fun. Let's try it again. We drop our first album and we're like, this is it. It's like accomplishment, notch under our belt. And we won the Your Shot to Rock with Live 105, the Cabo Wabo stuff. That
nice.
was like a notch under our belt. It was awesome.
When was that?
Oh man. So I think it was like the first time we got to play BFD at Shoreline was because of Your Shot to Rock. And it was this crazy contest that we got in. It was like 250 bands and we won. And that was awesome. Cool. So after that happened, we're like, oh yeah, we're feeling good about ourselves, and it's just like more momentum for us to just keep going and keep going. So yeah, it keeps us going.
And Frank, you've been following along, right? You've been following their trajectory and now you're part of it.
Yeah, it's I tell the guys all the time, man, it's as a sounds A musician and as a bass player, it's like a dream come true for me to be able to play with these guys. Anytime I join a new project, I always look at, how am I going to push myself to be better as a musician? And being in this band has helped me tremendously. Gabe and both Billy have, mentored me when it comes to writing songs, playing shows. Even though I've been playing for a while, there's always so much to learn. And just like Billy said, these guys got a bunch of notches that I'm trying to get on my belt as well.
You know, I'm used to in Latin America, rock en español, right? There are the Jaguares, you know, the Manas, but I've never seen anything like you all. The fuck? How did it happen? You know, like, is it something that I don't know, that's people look at and like, well, this is kind of outside of our realm, like seeing 4 Chicanos playing this type of music. Does that ever come up?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I think that might have been something that maybe kind of helped set us aside, was that we were, you know, 4 Chicanos playing, you know, 80s, you know, Brit-Pop, modern rock sounding stuff. You know, I think that maybe that kind of like moved us over from being like either like a lot of Chicano bands will play like you know, like rock en español, there'll be like, or there'll be tribute bands, or there'll be like hardcore metal bands.
Yeah.
Right. And so we kind of just came out and just doing this thing, and it wasn't like we were trying to do anything. It's all been very organic. It's just we just all love this kind of music, and we just decided, yeah, let's just play it. What the hell? And luckily, people were digging it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds great, and I mean, I just saw the music for the most part, but I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. It's kind of rad, you know.
Thank you.
How does it feel to, like, now I'm gonna bring this photo up. Let me get this real quick.
Kind of scared.
No worries. It's nothing scary. But tell us about hearing your music at the San Jose Sharks.
I'm a big Sharks fan myself, and I used to be season ticket holder, and I would go to the games all the time. And I was always thinking, man, wouldn't that be cool to hear my music playing up in this stadium? And man, it happened, and we're super thankful for Chris. He's the in-house DJ, Chris Ganjai, and he's always spinning us and giving us a lot of props. And I think we're super stoked and super appreciative that they're playing our stuff there. It's awesome.
When did that start? When did your music begin to play at the stadium?
Oh man,
I want to say it was the maybe 2018. Does that sound right, Billy?
Yeah, I think yeah, probably about 2018, a couple years ago. It was playing there, and I mean, I was sitting there at the game one time right before it was about to start, and I hear my music playing. I was like, what the heck? I get on my phone, I start recording it, I send it out to the guys and stuff. It's awesome.
I love it. I can only imagine what that feels like, you know?
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
I also want to talk about some of the music. I mean, I think the first song that I was exposed to was Around the Sun. I just kind of want to dissect it a little bit. Maybe, Gabe, you can help me. You wrote it? Or with Billy, like the lyrics?
The lyrics I wrote. The music, it was like a band, like a jam session. But yeah, I wrote those lyrics down. You know, usually like we'll be jamming the sound out as a band, and as we're doing that, I'll start mumbling certain things, or just making, or even just like humming what I feel would be a good vocal melody. And then once we have like a solid demo down, then I'll go home and I'll just like write. I'll just try to write a verse, write a line, anything, and yeah, and that's the process as far as the lyrics go.
Hold up, Frank, do you or I think Billy, do you have headphones? Just because I can hear right now Gabe's. I think when someone speaks, there's like a little echo.
Is it me?
No, it's not you. I think it might be Frank. If he had some headphones, because I know Billy, you have your headphones on.
Yeah.
So just real quick, because you know, like I listened to that song, and you know, you're like, the song's like you're looking for hope, like in the midst of despair. That's how I'm interpreting. But you know, the sun to me like represents like this freedom, truth, and like hope. You know, I don't know, what kind of feelings were you thinking when you were putting together the song? Or did the beat influence the lyrics, or vice versa, or what came first? Chicken or the egg question.
It's really difficult. The music doesn't inspire the lyrics that come out. What I use the music for is just, okay, where am I gonna put these words? What words do I have to take out? How many syllables can I use here? But there's this funny thing with our music. that are our songs. The music is very up tempo and very dancey, as Bill described it, like dance rock type of thing.
Right.
Very positive energy, right? But the lyrics are always depressing as hell, right? They're always a bummer. And
very Smith-like, very Morrissey.
You know, and the funny thing you mentioned that. So the other weird thing about us is, or I guess about me, I don't think Billy either. I never really cared for the Smiths. I was never like I was never into them. I knew a little bit of them from like, you know, other people around us. I mean, I may have known one or two songs, you know, but I didn't. You know how, especially, you know, Raza, like it's this love affair with Morrissey, right?
Yeah, it's like he's like a ranchero. He sings all crazy ballads.
It's crazy. He gets like Latin Grammys and stuff like that. You know, like
yeah.
And no, nothing against. I mean, the music's cool as hell. Right. You know, like it wasn't until people started saying, or people started assuming that I was a hardcore Morrissey fan, and I was like, why? Like what? And so, you know, a friend of mine who's hardcore started making me some CDs, and I started listening to it. And I'm like, holy shit!
Like the song Nobody Else has like Johnny Marr playing the guitar. It feels like for a little bit. You know, that's just me, and I'm a Smiths head. You know?
That's the other thing. The other thing, Johnny Marr. Like people would always say, "Oh yeah, Johnny Marr," and I was like, you know, who's this Johnny Marr? Was like keeps bringing up to me, right? Like who?
Right.
And then I did a photo shoot once where like I've had different hairstyles over the years, and so I had kind of like a very Johnny Marr-esque like bowl cut, and so I did this little photo shoot with my hair like that. I'm wearing shades and a blazer. It's in black and white, and I'm leaning up against the wall with my hollow body guitar. And everyone was like that, you know, like friends. I shouldn't say everyone, just like friends that were like that liked it. You know, they're like, "Oh man, that's like a really dope homage," and this and that. Like, homage to what? You know. So then they start showing pictures of Johnny Marr, and I'm like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, no, because when I see the description on the bio and I see The Cure, I'm like, these guys didn't have the Smiths. What's up, bro? I know your choice, but you know, it's just a little thing. Could be because I'm Mexican and you know we all listen to the Smiths or something. But
yeah, so I started to check out the Smiths. I started to check out Morrissey and stuff, and then I did find one song that and I, you know, like the hardcore Smiths fans that are friends of mine were unhappy that this was my favorite song because I guess it's like a popular song, and you know, like the whole hipster thing, like. You have to know the deep cuts to be a real fan, right? So it was Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now.
Love that. Yeah.
First time I heard that song, I'm like, oh, okay. Now I can start digging these dudes. But yeah, for the longest time, had no idea who they were, and everyone thought that we were naturally like, you know, hardcore Smiths fans because of the lyrics, you know, and the guitar sounds and stuff like that. Really weird coincidence, I swear. It's just a coincidence.
Well, that's good. That's kind of cool, Billy. From let's talk about the Julian Street album. What's your song there? Like, what's the song that you're like, oh, I can't wait to start playing this because you know it's the drumming.
I like Nobody Else, and I think Nobody Else is kind of a different vibing song for me. You know, it's like I like playing it. It's fun to play. I don't know. It's just it grooves different with me. So I that's my favorite one on there. That one and probably. Balam in Love is a good one. I like the synth and stuff on it, and the vocals are cool.
Yeah, no, the second there, Nobody Else is definitely. What about you, Frank?
My favorite song is Bedroom Mirror. Yeah, it's just the bass line is it's a lot of fun to play. Billy wrote that bass line. I think for me, it's one of their best bass lines in their catalog.
Cool.
It's just a lot of fun to play, a lot of energy. And it's more of a heavier rock song, so I get to really kind of cut loose when I play it live.
What does Balam mean? I don't even know. What does that mean?
Balam is if I'm not mistaken, a Mayan emperor.
Oh. So what's the story behind that?
It was just a cool title that I liked. Yeah, the song isn't about the Mayans or anything like that.
I know. I've heard the whole album. That's why I was like, okay.
But a funny story though about this is one of my favorite stories to tell, like band drama about Bedroom Mirror. So when we were writing Julian Street, right? I was predominantly writing the majority of everything. And we were kind of going through a band transition at that time, band members. And I remember telling Billy, we're at practice, and it, being that it was a transition of members, it was really tense. The energy, like there was a lot of really thick, kind of negative energy in the room a lot of the times when we're practicing. And I remember telling Billy, man, you guys need to start writing some more of the music, because I feel like it's all going to start sounding the same if I just keep doing this. And Billy was like, I don't know, like, I don't, like, I don't want to, this and that. And then we like, it just kept escalating. We were drinking too, right? And it's already a tense. So like neither one of us was backing down, and it just kept escalating, because it turned into this screaming match, and we're just screaming at each other. And then Billy storms out of the studio, slams the door, and then storms back in, and something else, and blah blah, and like he said something to the effect of like, I can't write the way you can write, and all this stuff. So then it turned into this argument where I'm yelling at him, like we're fighting. And I'm saying, dude, you're a great writer. So it's like I'm complimenting him, but like angry.
Right.
And then so then he's like, fine, you get your way, fine. And he slams the door and he takes off. So then he comes back with Bedroom Air.
No way.
and then so he comes back with the drums and the bass line, the entire rhythm section of the song from beginning to the end. And I listen to it, and I'm just like, see?
Wait, Billy, then what was it like for you to like write this song thinking like, fuck Gabe, I'm gonna show him that?
There was so much stuff going on, and I just usually when I write stuff, I get at home and I'll put on my my headphones, and I got my comfortable socks on, I'm hanging out. I start getting into it, like kind of preparing myself for it. But this time was completely different. Like I just got in there, I started playing something, I really liked it. I kind of like recorded that part, saved it, and kind of built off of that. And then I had like an arrangement of parts where I was like, okay, now it's time to like build it. Okay, I've got these parts here, and how I'm gonna do my verse, chorus, my bridge, and this. So I kind of like Frankenstein the parts together, and then I sent it out with like some shitty guitar lead on there, and I don't even know what I was thinking of when I listened back to it. And I sent it to Gabe, and Gabe replies back. He's like, see, that's it right there. Like we could totally do something with this. I really like this part here. And then we go into the studio and start practicing it out, and he's already got like this guitar lead to it that was perfect. And so it's like the song was written, I think it took me like maybe 3 or 4 hours to build it. And then I think by like 2 practices, we had a song, like complete song, which was kind of rewarding a little bit. So I kind of got what Gabriel meant about it, but I don't know, we just kind of butted heads about it. And we all have a path to go down, and it might be a different path, but we all meet at the end at the same spot. So I just didn't want to follow Gabe's path, I guess. I don't know. We've been friends for so long that we're like family. So, we fight and we talk shit to each other, and we're about to knock each other's teeth out, and then we hug it out, It's just like family.
So I heard...
Sorry, I was going to say, it was just one of the weirdest argument/fight screaming matches I've ever been in, because it's like, you're complimenting someone, but you guys are
fighting over constructive criticism
and booze. Well, I want to ask. So I heard from Billy, he has to wear his comfortable socks. He's got to be in the zone. What's it like for you, Gabe, to write lyrics? Do you have to be in a certain zone, or are you just skipping around and thinking about lyrics?
It's weird. It's like sometimes when I try to remember like how once the song is done, like I don't even really remember the process, and it kind of sucks, because it's like, man, like how I listen back and I'm like, how did I come up with that, But what does happen though is all of the, and I think this is pretty common, I've heard this from a lot of creative types, that the ideas just start popping in at the most inopportune moments, like when you have nowhere to write them down, or no way to record them down, remember them. And really, really late at night, in the wee hours of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning. So for me, alcohol has always been a very, very big part of getting the juices flowing. I have a couple of drinks, You know, sometimes I'll go to a certain environment where like it'll get the juices flowing, but yeah, no, I don't really have the it's very random. It's almost kind of like Carlos Santana described it pretty well in the interview I saw where he said like you know, there's all these ideas are just falling from the ether, and like you just try to grab them as much as you can. You know, you have really no real no control over it, and you don't have no control over which ones you can grab, which is going to pass right by you. And that's pretty accurate because I can't really like, you know, pinpoint or nail it down to like, okay, I do this, you know, I do that, and then boom, it happens. It's kind of like I just try to, when I feel it coming on, I just try to hold on to it as long as I can, and then get what I can from it before it just vanishes, you know.
So you say spirits play a big role. Does it depend on the type? Are you a bourbon kind of lyricist? Are you a tequila? Does it matter which one?
You know, it's funny. I'm a, when it comes to like the spirits, I'm a liquor. I'm sorry, a vodka and whiskey kind of guy. But nice. You know, those are too strong. You know, if I start sipping on that, it's too much, and I don't write anything. It's usually beer. A couple of beers will get me like right where I need to be. You know.
What about you, Billy? Performing. What's your choice of spirit? Or even just kind of.
I'm a vodka drinker. I drink vodka. Beers. I used to drink a lot of beer, and now I cut back a lot on it, and just, you know, a couple of vodkas here and there, and I'm set.
Nice.
You know, loosens me up a little, and not too much.
What about you, Frank?
Oh, I like to stay hydrated. H2O is good for me.
But it's a little vodka.
I like IPAs. IPA is probably my favorite beers.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? You can't even Frank the Square.
He's an L7 weenie.
He would probably keep the band going. 2019 South by Southwest. Tell me about that experience.
That was a fun one as well. Billy and Jerry almost missed the flight.
What?
And you know
what happened?
We always have all these weird things happen to us, man. Like I have this weird, like I'm a nervous flyer. I have to get pretty hammered because I don't really like being up in the airplanes. And right before South by Southwest, I don't know if you remember when the Boeing, all their planes, they had those two big plane crashes, and then it was the Air Max, I think, right? That type of plane that was having all these issues, and like it was literally like a week before our flight out, and I was like, oh man, I remember I called Billy, I'm like, dude, like it was like 2 days before we're gonna fly, and I'm like, I don't know what kind of plane we're gonna be on. I think I'm gonna drive, dude. And he's like, well, I'll see you there then. He's like, you better leave right now. And I seriously considered driving, and then like it was the morning of our flight was when they grounded all those types of planes. But I was on my way to the airport just sweating. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And then so we get there, and then, you know, Billy and Jerry almost missed the flight, and I'll let Billy tell that story.
It's 87, man. The traffic on 87 is bad, and Jerry lives way out there off 87, so I blame it on that. So we ended up getting to the airport with like 20 minutes till the plane was going to take off, and I still had to get through checking my bags and everything, and we got to the runway, the gate we were supposed to be at, and they won't let us on. And they said it's already, the door's shut, they're ready to take off. And I pleaded to them, and I had gear in my hands, and I ended up telling them, look, half my band's on the plane. We're playing in Austin tomorrow, and I need to be on this flight. And he said, you know what, go ahead. So we end up running down the hallway, get on the plane. We sit in our seat, and everyone in the plane is like just motherfucking us because we were just the last ones on. And we get on the plane, and we're drenched because we had to run like a mile to get to the plane. Yeah, and it was terrible. And I look and I see Gabriel over there, and he's like shaking his head.
He's already sweating balls, and then you get late. So
For sure.
Good. Wait, but had y'all been there just to check out the scene prior to that performance in 2019, or was that your first time in Austin being involved in
No, we played there a few times actually.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. The first time we were there, we met Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, just walking down the street.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good time out there. It's a really good time.
Yeah, I gotta go. Tell me about this photo real quick. Was that the first time meeting Senor Chuy Gomez? Because all roads lead to Chuy in the Bay, apparently. I've been interviewing like 2-3 other people, and everyone mentions and references Chuy. So I got to bring him up.
Yeah,
he's the man.
Yeah, he's super cool dude, man. Super cool. I remember we had just shot a music video, and I was trying to figure out, like, okay, like, let me send this out to people, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try to get us on CMC. I was, growing up, I was always a fan of the California Music Channel.
Right.
And so I went on their website, and I sent an email, and the show's producer got back to me, like, within the hour, and was like, yeah, here's this, fill out this disclaimer, whatever thing, and then send it back to us with the file. Mm-hmm. So I sent it back, and she really liked it. Like, she liked it a lot. She's like, man, it's like, started looking into us, went to our website. It's like, oh, you guys are from San Jose, and wow, you guys have done all these cool things. She's like, hey, Chuy really likes it too. Do you want to co-host CMC with him? And I was like, I just emailed them, like, this shot in the dark, like, never expecting anything. Now, like, they're offering me to co-host the show, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a host.
Right next to Chuy Gomez too.
Yeah, and so
the legend.
So I just said, well, I don't know anything about hosting the show, and it's like, oh, don't worry, just show up and everything will be fine. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I remember I went down. It's in Oakland, and I went down there, and like I'm like there super early, and Chuy's not there yet, and I'm just waiting, and then he pulls up in this like badass red El Camino. It's like a 1972 El Camino or something like that.
Yep.
And he gets out, and he's like, oh, hey, he's like, what's up, man? I'll be right there. Sorry, I'm late. And he goes upstairs, and then I go upstairs, and it's funny, like the area of the desk where we're supposed to sit, there was barely enough room for even just him. And it's like, but we need you in the frame. So we literally, like, it's weird how cameras work. Because right there it looks like normal, but like our hips were like touching, like we're like super just squished in together. And then he just, there's no script, there was nothing to prepare me for this, and it was just ad-libbing. He's just asking me questions, and he's like super cool and has all this this cool flow of the way he talks and everything, and I'm just like, he's like, so tell everyone, what's your name, man? And I'm like, my name is Gabriel, and I'm the singer of the Trends. You can see he just starts laughing, like, immediately. As soon as I start talking, he just starts laughing.
He does.
It was fun though. It was really fun.
That's cool, man. I want to show everyone, like, in your you guys in your element.
Yeah,
this is a great photo, and this is a wonderful venue. I love this venue. I'm from San Francisco, so I go to the El Rio all the time. And just got a great vibe. Is that you right there, Frank?
Yeah, that's me. That's one of my first shows. Yeah, that venue was amazing. I remember playing.
Tell me about your experience there as one of your first shows in El Rio and doing your thing.
It was great. I just remember playing and just really feeling the vibe everywhere. With the people lounging, nodding their heads. The scenery there is great with all the plants and the outdoors. That place was awesome, man. I would definitely love to play there again.
What year was this?
This was last year. I think it was like, no. Well, this was in February, January.
Yeah, I think this is one of the last shows we played.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it was January of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got shut down.
And how have you guys like navigated the whole COVID experience as a band?
It's tough.
Yeah.
But our studio got shut down for the first, I think in March. It got shut down late March, and all through April we didn't practice. And then I think they started letting us back in was like May, right, guys? Was it around May where they kind of lifted it, and we were still like uncertain about it. So we were kind of at first kind of tiptoe in there and get in there and practice a little bit. And now it's like every Thursday we're meeting and trying to get together. And well, not with our guitarist out sick, Jerry.
Yeah.
Feel better.
And what's the silver lining in this whole pandemic? Like, Gabe, do you have more time to think, write, or anything? Or Frank, do you just like fuck this shit and stop? How's it been for you all? Like Gabe, Frank?
Well, for me, it's not. It's actually been kind of a challenge in the sense where there's I don't know. It seems like there's so much conflict in the atmosphere. You know, it's been making the writing process a little bit difficult for me, kind of like this block. But the silver lining though is that, you know, like Frank, Jerry, and Billy, it's really cool to be in a band with people who are they're super driven and excited. I was telling I sent Frank a text a few nights ago, just thanking him, just because it's like it's this, with all this stuff going on, they give me like this really good like energy, keeps me sane, and our practice sessions feel kind of like therapy. We get to go there, we hang out, whatever's happening outside of those studio walls is out there.
Yeah.
And in there it's like, we're laughing, we're playing good music, we're coming up with really good new ideas. Our chemistry is finally starting to like mold. And so we're like, the new stuff we're writing is, in my opinion, is really, really good. Like, it's, like I said before, I'm pretty self-deprecating. And this is the first time where I'm like, damn, that's a good fucking song, man. Like,
you guys have a release date or thoughts on when y'all want to? I mean, is Bending Time part of that project?
Bending Time is probably going to be kind of like an a la carte type of song, standing on its own. I think this next release will be just all brand new stuff. We've put little snippets out on our socials. We performed live last week, and we tried out some of the new stuff, but most of the people didn't really know who we were, so it was kind of, that's why we brought out the new stuff.
Nice.
But going back to the silver lining thing though, is that I think this time, without being able to play shows, has really given us as a band a chance to like kind of really get to know each other again, without any of the pressures of, oh, we got to do this, we have this deadline, we have that deadline. Right now we're just getting to just jam together, and spend time together, hanging out and writing new songs. So that's the silver lining to me anyway.
Cool. Let me finish off with some of the questions. I want to know, because you're all based in the 408, but maybe the answers won't be from only San Jose. But Billy, we'll start with you. What's your favorite park, your favorite restaurant, and street, all in one?
I would say my favorite park right now is probably Vasona Park in Los Gatos. I commute to work on a bicycle. Vasona. Yeah, it's a nice little park in Los Gatos. I ride my bike out there, and there's some nice trails out there. So I like to go and hang out, eat lunch out there, ride my bike home, and call it a day. As far as my favorite street, I don't know. It kind of varies, I guess. I know downtown San Jose, San Pedro Square Market on San Pedro, they've kind of done. They blocked off the streets now, and the restaurants are able to put their seating out there for customers and stuff. So it's kind of a cool little spot to go to, social distance. Everyone wears their mask, and kind of get some dinner, have a drink, and go home. I think that's kind of a cool spot downtown. Cool. As far as a restaurant, there's like this little taco spot that opened up like on the same block I live on. I live off of Elm Street and Emory, and there's this little spot called Tiqueria, and it's a taco spot that also sells boba tea. And the owner's, his name is Frank, and he's a super cool dude. And every time I go in there, he's like, "You got to try this, you got to try that." And there's always something new. And
how do you
it's
spell
a brand
that?
new spot.
How do you...
just like you have it right there.
I can't find
So they sell
it.
boba tea and tacos, and it's kind of got like an Asian fusion, and it's It's brand new. I think it's probably a few months old. That's it right there.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a cool spot. I mean, the food is amazing. It's all top-notch quality food. It's great. And
I gotta check it out.
I would see them during the week, and they would close early, about 7:00. And I got down there one time after work, and I got to talk to the owner, and he's got all kinds of good food, man. You guys should try it out.
Right on. Thanks, Frank. Park, street food.
Yeah, some of my favorite parks are downtown, Cesar Chavez Park, St. James Park, primarily because, a big part of my early mid-20s is going to all the music in the park festivals on Thursdays. That was kind of like a San Jose beacon of culture and people and great music. And I always have a strong affinity toward those parks because I know one day we're going to play there if you guys haven't already. But, I'm putting it out into the universe that I will play and we will play music in the park one day. So that's a big dream of mine.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
In terms of streets, a lot of those paseos downtown, spent many of nights, walking up and down Santa Clara Street. And then for restaurants, man, I'm a big pizza guy. So I really like Jake's Pizza.
Hell yeah. Jake's of Willow Glen. That's a spot.
San Jose? Cool. All right, I gotta check it out. What about you, Gabe?
I like I guess it's not San Jose, Alviso. I like the Alviso trail. Can't remember if it's like a is it a bay, a wharf? I don't know what it is.
It's kind of like a baylands, like wetlands.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a pretty little hot spot for like people who like taking pictures because they have like these. So in order to get to the trail, there's these long like walkways with these huge like door frames that just go to nowhere. So people like to go there and take pictures and stuff like that. But
how do you spell that?
Just Alviso. Alviso.
Got it.
That one, the first one, the Marina County Park.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. See?
Whoa.
That place has it's just always been like somewhere I go. Like it's just very peaceful.
That's dope.
It's a 3-mile walk around a body of water. Like you can see like the shoreline. You can see Moffett Field. You can see all these cool places from there. And I go there a lot sometimes just to clear my head. Just if like sometimes just like it's weird. It's like it reminds me of kind of like it's like a little South Salito tucked right into the South Bay. It's weird because like it doesn't belong down here.
Yeah.
It's really
cool. Food.
I love food. So but I guess
restaurants.
If I had to pick one place for a while, it would be King Egg Roll on Berryessa. I love that.
They got the best egg rolls.
They have the best everything.
Yeah.
Really? Cool.
Yeah. Their egg rolls are just amazing. Shrimp balls and their chow mein and
yeah, it's good stuff.
I think I'm gonna go there right now after this. Actually, no.
What about street? Like what area?
Streets, it's tough, man, because there's just so many cool little spots here in San Jose. There's it's tough. I like I like Bascom Street, like right by where the Pink Poodle is, back there, like back in the day, like where all like the old like porn shops were and stuff like that.
Tattoo shops and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like a super seedy part of town. It was like strip clubs, porn stores, smoke shops, tattoo parlors. It was bars.
The Red Stag.
Yeah.
And what happened? What happened to that scene?
I don't like the community started to become more affluent, I guess, and started shutting stuff down. We don't like this. We don't like that. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. So I kind of really enjoy it. It's weird. Like some of those buildings are still there, but they're just completely decaying. So it's kind of like you drive down the street. It's kind of almost like a graveyard of what that street used to be. It used to be known as the Burbank area back in the day, heyday, and there's just I don't know what it is. It's kind of like that energy where I say like where sometimes if I need a little bit of material to get the juices flowing,
yeah,
you know, all of those ghosts are still floating around in there somewhere, you know, and I dig that street a lot.
Look at this poet. I love it. You're just writing lyrics as you speak. Love it. Frank, Billy, Gabe, anything else you all want to close this conversation with? Any projects or anything to look out for?
If you're looking for any of our music, go to www.thetrims.net. You can listen to our music for free. You can download it. You can buy it on our website as well. It's got all of our content there, all of our updates, information, contacts, music, everything. So check it out.
Great. Frank, Gabe, any last words?
Go ahead, Frank.
I just thank you so much for having us. It was a great experience, and really, really blessed to be on here. Thank you. No,
it's my privilege.
Yeah, I'd like to give a couple of shout outs to Esteban Aguilar, our cinematographer. He's done some film work. He's the one who shot the video for Bending Time.
Cool.
Charge Heart Productions. Give a shout out to B-Sides on Air. They put us on a while back, and it was a really cool process. Pete Marr and Esteban. And then earlier we had spoken a little bit about the Maestro Valentin Villarreal, who was my guitar teacher, who taught me everything that I know about guitars, you know, songwriting, how to play by ear. And here's, I don't know if it'll come up on the screen here.
Hold up, we got to get that one going. Let's see it.
The reflection is going to be kind of messed up, but I don't know if you can see that clear.
Yeah, we can see it. I can see it.
No, that's who he was. He passed away a few years ago, but yeah, he taught me everything I know. And shout out to his family. They're all out in San Antonio, Texas. And when he passed, they gave me his capo.
Wow.
And so, yeah, they sent me that picture and then this capo. But yeah, shout out to him, to his family, and then, you know, to my bandmates as well, and to you. Thanks a lot, man, for having us on your show.
No, thank you all. You know, I've been following you all, and I'm just really excited to see what's next. Love the music. Mi gente, the Trims is what you need to get yourself acquainted with if you haven't already. But check them out. Billy just said thetrims.net, and we'll call it a go. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care.
Peace.
Adios. Peace.